My daughter joined this court when she was in University of Birmingham, to the extent that the hostel that she rented with these people, they took her away from the hostel. She started living with these other girls in one big house. That I don't know how he got those big houses in university all around. And instead of them now getting their money, he's now getting their student loans. It's the one that is now controlling the way they eat and everything there. To the extent that even when my daughter finished uni, she left home to go and stay with friends so we can be going to this church. And many of them are all over. Okay, how can you say you are here the street? What make people go to the street to go and take drugs? Is it not because to be flamboyant, to buy Gucci, to buy this thing? It's not the Gucci that you're now showing them. What kind of rehabilitation is that? These are the things that this guy is doing. All these money that people are talking about. When you, it's only when you have children in this country that you know how gullible the children are. They don't know a lot of things. And in this country, anything that comes with religious thing, anything that is religious thing, they don't get involved easily. And there are lot of youth churches that are causing this. I have a son that he happened to UCKG, another church. They took my son and turned him to be a pastor instead of going to uni. I even begged him that, okay, I'm a pastor. I've been to theological school. If you want to go to theological school. So even if this empire that you are working, if it crumble, you will be certificated to even work anywhere because you'll be qualified and ordained. My son told me, did Jesus go to school before he wins souls? Doctor, I've seen boys that are in medical school 3 years, and they took them out of school and tell them to be pastors. So this damage that this guy has done, do you know what I mean? My son now doesn't go to church. He doesn't believe in God anymore. He's a native. Because of this, he thought his life had been wasted. Luckily, I was able to help him out. He's married. He's left this country to start living in Dubai now. He hates UK so much right now. You don't know what this guy is doing. All you are talking about is not even about the money that he's making, because it's about the damages that he's doing for all these children. And when you talk about why these children are now coming out, when a guy is like this, don't you think that he has a gang? This is a court. He has boys. That these people will not be able to talk.
My brother, tell them. These people don't understand. Tell them.
These boys have boys. They can talk. He has boys. He has most of the guys in his shows are ex-convict. What are you talking about? It's not taken by Nasaman. Forget about Asaman. This guy, the money that you are talking, it's not that he's rich like that is carrying maybe politicians' money. I don't believe that. The money that is making it from these children. Is getting their money, is forcing them to pay money that how can you pay money like, you don't know when you bully these children. You bully them to submission. That's the way they are. Not many, they are not as strong as children that are brought in Nigeria. The system, they have clean hearts. And when they put everything, they want to put everything into it. Luckily, my daughter just come home. After about 3-4 years, wasted, not doing anything, just going to church. So when you don't know, the thing is, when you see, many of these things many of the parents have reported the case to their MP, their local MP, and all the cases at the House of Parliament. So that's why all these things. And you know what they're gonna do for him? You will see whether he has kids or he has not got. They haven't got any strong case that nobody can stand with him. He hasn't done like most of the children are not they are youth. They count them as adults. They are more than 16 years old. They are 18. So when it comes to church, they will tell you they voluntarily go there. Why people don't believe that you can even use juju or anything? If you go to church, you go to church and you give money. You are not forced to give the money. So there is nothing they can do to him in that aspect. But what they can do to him is what they will do to him. You know what they do to Aaron's owner? That they refuse to give him the citizenship of this country. Aaron have paper, but they never gave him British passport. And they frustrated him. The thing is what they will do. The only way they will do, they will find a way of disciplining him and make sure that he's married to a British, he has a British children. Why are they refusing this? And don't true, there's some politicians that use him, like Mayor of Lagos, Mayor of London. He used him during the election because he knows he has audience. And that was the time that whenever he wants to do worship, is these people, is the mayor of London that is paying for the hotel, all that they will use and everything. And he was getting money from the government, saying that he's rehabilitating all these boys as well. Saying that he's getting some hideout for them so he can defend their lives so they won't be killed and all those things. But you can't do this forever. Whatever you are doing, especially the mother that's crying. And you know one thing again, when things is happening between black community, why people don't get worried? If you go to his church, hardly you can see a single white person there. And this is what I was telling my daughter, that why is it black people that get involved and get sucked up in these things like this? Especially when you are doing things and you don't see white people there. Then there should be something, you should be aware that there's something getting wrong somewhere here. Why the white youth people are not going there? Why is it only you black people? So that's my thing. This guy has damaged people, has damaged children emotionally, psychologically, and my son is still very, very angry, very aggressive. And when they start going to this church, the parents know when you start telling them things, they don't listen to you anymore. There is one in Camberwell now, yeah. Thank you. All right. There's one in Camberwell too. 11 o'clock, because I do Uber. 12 a.m., 1 a.m. is when you'll be picking all these children, youth from the church. What are they doing in church till 1 a.m.? All these youth churches in this country and most of them are from, it's either they are from Nigeria or they are from Ghana. And they are using these people money. I don't know what to say, man. Have a blessed day. That's my submission. Thank you.
The time will come for me to speak, but we need to address the matter at hand. The issue is he has been charged for financial mismanagement as a pastor. First, he's an overstayer. He has stayed in the country for close to 20-something years. He came as a visitor. How did he contribute to the UK economy? A series of events have occurred that has landed him to the position where he's been dragged into deportation. First, there's issue of financial fraud. How did he make the money? He was not allowed to work under UK VI. With 6 months, you are not allowed to work. How did he raise the funds that he was lavishing? Issues of fraud as a charity. Charities are not non-profitable organizations. So how did he make the money to the extent where he had no right to work and you're working as a pastor and you're living lavishly? That is what we need to be looking into. We are not condemning his hustle. We are not saying that he's not supposed to follow his calling, but a lot has gone down the line that we need to look into. Him facing deportation, there's a scale of 50-50. He has overstayed, and more than 20 years, he can apply under long stay as a resident for over 20 years. But now with the issue of fraud being tied to him, that's a tag mark. They're looking onto that to pin him down. Secondly, charities are not supposed to be for profit-making organizations. How did he get the money? How is he supposed to run a church, register a church where he came here as a visitor? That is the issue we should be looking onto. We are not condemning him being a pastor. He's a servant of God. He's following his calling. We respect people's hustle. It is what it is. But we saying that, oh, it's an issue of racial issue. I don't see this as a racial issue. Let's take this as an outside. The issue that happened that brought the strike in this country recently between June and July. People are tagging it that the issue started with the guy that was brutally beaten in the airport. That wasn't the issue. The issue was tagged that, oh, the little boy who killed 3 girls in Liverpool. Do you think that was the issue? There were a sequence of events that brought about that strike. It started when little British girls were being raped in Rotherham, in Manchester. Were there proof of evidence? There was just a hearsay. The matter went to court. It was dismissed because of what? Not sufficient evidence. Before this man will be brought to this stage where he's been brought, the sequence of events that have happened, we call them rhetorical acts, similar fact evidence. So he's been dragged, not only issue of fraud, that undercover incident, you don't know. They might have used that church to clean drug money, but the media will not put it that way. They'll just target fraud. You don't know how the law works. There's a lot of things they code for security reasons. So should we look into these things rather than, we're not condemning the man being a man of God, no. But the fact that have brought him to this stage where it's been issued for, oh, he's a black. It's not the issue of black Mr. King David. Priests do commit crimes, we know, but have they brought sufficient evidence before the judge to nail them? It all boils down to evidence. He has a lot of evidence before the judge. That's why they're dragging him the way they're dragging him.
Anyway, Ospark Nation, my son used to be the involved, and my daughter. This guy's been going on for a long time, but I think this is time to going down. I'm not trying to mock him or something like that, but...
Sorry, sir. Can you come in again? So that means you are a little bit, I won't say closer, but at least you know someone that attended this church.
Yeah, my son and my daughter used to go to that church.
Wow.
Even some of my friends' son and daughter, they used to go there. Because their building they're using, they didn't have no church. It's just they're renting. They can go to Western, they can go to Auburn. That's the way they run. That's what the way the guy run. He just uses his brain. He's not a pastor. He doesn't go to any ministry or no. It's just a brain because I follow my son one day to see one Sunday. This guy can't pray. He cannot pray. I'm not trying to mock him. He's just use his brain and take all those kids that are going to uni. What he did, he just they got some office and they collect their form when they want to get some loan. This is why these people, this BBC, they've been watching him for a long time. So how do you think he got all this kind of cars? It's not all the kids, but he was using them when they get the loan for uni. That is the way this guy running, and that's why he gets money from. Because he can go up to 500 to church on one Sunday. They don't do any stuff. They don't do no Bible study. It's only one Sunday. That's it. And this kid, they brainwash them. They brainwash them. Some of them leave because they wake up quickly. And they be watching him. Him is supposed to keep himself to himself, but no. Buy some big cars, showing us suit, going to West End, every routine, buy all those stuff, inviting some people come from Nigeria, show a big house. You don't do all that. This is a hero. They can be watching you for 10 years, but the day they want to get you down, you are going down. Anyway, to me, I'm not trying to mock him. It's not a choice. I can't call that one a ministry, but some of the kids, they realize, and that's why the fight was starting. He said he was turning some druggy people to do that. When the fight want to start, then they buy them some cars. He buys some of them, he buys some cars. When they want to fight, they sort them out. The church has been running for a long time and is burning all the youths. Because when he come, he just come in the front of the altar and just say, oh, do some 2 songs. He can't even sing, he can't even pray. This is why this guy is wrong. He just used his brain. So I don't want to talk much. I know about him, but I don't want to talk about because of my son was involved, because of his union debt, he's still paying it. Because you are giving him money, so it's his own problem to pay the money back.
Sorry, sir. Can you please expatiate on that uni money? I don't understand, sir.
Yeah, what he normally did, he will help them fill in the form for uni. So that's what he always do for the kids, and that's why the kids are always in troubles. Some of them wake up, they cash up, they know what's going on. At the end of the day, the government come back to them because you put your name on this loan, you have to pay back. It doesn't have nothing to do with the Boyega, what's his name, or Pastor Tobi, you know. And he's been running all this thing for a long time. Use like a 500, you know how much form they're gonna fill. He helping them. That's what he be doing for a long time.
So when he helped them like that, when they now get the loan, he will now have a excuse me. He will not take his own share out of it, or how does it?
That exactly. That's where I'm going. That is what and he be doing it for long. My son was involved. My daughter was involved, and that's why they leave. And some of my friends, because when you talk to your kid and they don't listen, because some of his friends he fighting them, on Sunday we tell them, bring all your friends, and they will involve them with that. All those uni kids, that's where they pour the money to. The government know what is going on, but they just try to find the way to grab him. And this is the time they grab him. That is it. Anyway, I have to go stop from here because it's a long time he's been doing this. Come on, only pay at tissue when about tabi baba kan sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ yà fọwọ́ bò jẹ ni.
But títí ẹ̀ kò fọwọ́ bò eléyìí o, ó máa lọ Western lọ ra sùn. Ẹ wo mọ́tò náà. Porsche, Lamborghini, àti show off, á lọ Western, á ṣí gbogbo lẹ̀kúnlẹ̀. Gbogbo àwọn boys wọn kó káàkiri. All of them, they used to be on that. The first so much. But over my jà, ó ra mọ́tò fún wọn ní new car. Then everything quiet.
I'm just going to tell you a quick brief because my daughter used to go to this church. We're talking, she's 25 now. So she started going to this church when she was 17 years old. She was invited by a friend to go to this church. But I can say she probably went there like a month. And then I started seeing some certain behaviors. I wasn't happy. And I started kind of like questioning her, what type of church it was, what do they demand from them to do? So she was coming back telling me, oh, mommy, this church, they've got all these young boys there, all these young people from the street. Oh, the church is doing so well. It's changing people's lives. I was like, So when she started telling me, but it's only a youth church. So I was like, youth church? That's very, very strange. So I started, because I'm a very spiritual person. So my spirit told me straight away when she's started telling me it's only youngsters. I was like, ooh, now this is very, very, it became a red flag for me. And because the church was also in the evening from 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock and then coming back late at night. So I started having a lot of red flags. So I came and I said to my daughter, I sat her down and I said, you've told me about this church, but a church that allows kids to come out late at night, I don't think it's the right church. And for you to tell me you have to give a certain amount of money and you have to, as the other lady said, you have to bring friends and there's no adult, it's just teenagers, youngsters. I said to her, I'm sorry, my daughter. I don't want you to go to that church anymore. And I had to sit her down and say, like, it's either me or you leave my house. Because it got to that stage where I had to put my foot down because of the things she was telling me. And all I want to say is like, this man is not even, he's a very good con man. Because this is how he does, he prays. He's like a predator. He gets all these young guys, dress them nicely. Every now and then, give them 2,000, 5,000 in their bank accounts, buy them nice cars, buy them Rolex. And what was so strange was the pastor said, like, every young boy in those churches has to marry a girl from the church, where the church has to fund the wedding. So you don't pay anything. The money, the church pays for the wedding. They send them on holiday. It's more like manipulating, dingling, charm. Come to my church, I'll give you money. You'll be rich, you'll buy a house and everything. And all these youngsters, 18, 19, 20, they like things like this because they feel, hey, somebody's going to give me £1,000 at the end of the day, But they didn't know that this man was a con man. He was preying on these young minds that don't know anything. But only because someone's bought someone a Range Rover, a car, they get excited. The church is giving back the money to all this, the community, taking care of the community, But then at the same time, he was, as he said, he was saying to, kind of like saying to the government, like, look, I'm actually helping all these youngsters going around killing themselves. So I bring them to my church, I rehabilitate them, I give them a good life, I talk to them, and maybe the government thought like, it's okay, as long as nobody's killing themselves. But people didn't know that he was kind of like, playing his game. He knew what he was doing. And I'm so happy. And my daughter, she was really upset with me stopping her to go to that church, because all our friends, they were all dragged. I said, no, you're not going to that church. You will not go to that church under my roof. Until the panorama came out. And I showed my daughter and said, see, my God was speaking to me. Take your child out of there. But there are so many kids that I know that unlucky, they left home, they ran away, they became, how can I say, they worshipped him. They worshipped him. Because I know one young boy, and it's so sad. This young boy was like 17. He was very good in athletic. His mom really spent so much money training this boy to be an athletic. And he went to this church, and this pastor told him, oh, athletic, you want to be an athletic? You better leave this athletic and you need to go and find a job, okay? And you need to come and work for me. I will pay you more money. The boy left his proper, how can I say, his talent. He threw his talent to go and be on Saturdays and Sunday and every other day on the street preaching a word of God. It's okay preaching a word of God, but kind of like recruiting. He became a recruiter. So it's so sad, but I'm just so happy that I was able to, my spirit told me, my spirit was like, take your daughter speak to your daughter. And I'm glad that she listened to me. But I feel sorry for kids who really, there's a lot of kids who have been damaged. There are so many kids that you guys don't know. This man was recruiting every county, people from Birmingham, people from, and you know what? He would even call a taxi late at night to Uber taxis to drive them back. It's a very sad case, and I hope he gets deported. And I guess he gets deported, and even if he has to this man needs to be deported out of this country. It's crazy. It's bad. Praying, he's a predator. It's worse. It's so bad. Anyway, that's my say. I'll let other people come and talk.
I'm so surprised that somebody will say this is racism, or somebody will say this is based on discrimination, or because he's a pastor. and things like that. Like my sister said before, that man is not a pastor. Nobody ordained him. He just named himself a pastor. Anybody can be called a pastor. Anybody can say I'm whatever, and So to be honest, he's not a pastor. I don't think he's a pastor. A lot of children, a lot of young people he's exploited them. This man applied for permanent residency, which is ILR in the UK, which is indefinite leave to remain, right? He applied for it in 2014. He was denied in 2014 because he's a nuisance in the UK and they want to get him out. So they didn't give it to him. Yes, ILR. Yes, they didn't give it to him in 2014. So since 2014, he's been battling with the Home Office to get his permanent residency, to get his indefinite leave to remain. They've continuously refused him because they know that he's doing something that is not right. He's committing fraud. He's a scammer. He's done so many things. And because they cannot really trace everything to him because he's not using his name, he's using people to fund his life. So like the other guy said, is it VMS that came before? Everything he said is a fact, He's not, nothing can be traced to him. And this is why they are now using the Home Office to like deport him because they cannot really find a concrete, they cannot really get the evidence against him to see that he's committing this fraud, this act. They know he's doing something, but he hasn't been found guilty in terms of the legal parts. That is why they are using the Home Office based on the fact that he does not have a stand in the UK, doesn't have a legal stay. This is why they want him to leave. How can you be doing things like this? You're committing fraud, you're doing dodgy things. There's so many things that they've been said about this man. He even tell his members to sell their blood. They'll go and donate blood and they will sell it and bring the money for him. This man has exploited a lot of young youths in London and he has manipulated a lot of them. A lot of things are going to be coming out. It's just like the way they brought this thing out now because they want people to come out to speak out and to find concrete evidence against him. And because we Black people, like somebody said before, we don't like to come out to talk, because you'll be ashamed or you're thinking, how would they look at me? Or let it not be like it's my fault, because we always want to put blame on people, and so this is why some people are afraid to come out to speak. But I'm glad they are gradually coming out now. So very, very soon they will persecute him in the crime that he has committed. This guy has done a lot of things, and there is no company. If he's not foolish, he's such a dummy. I'm sorry, he's not educated. Because you know that you're committing crime. You don't get any business, no company, not in Nigeria, not in the UK. He has nothing. No industry, no factory, nothing. You're driving cars worth millions of pounds. There is nothing to tie you that this is a legitimate business where you do nothing. Whether back home, nothing. Nothing this man is doing. There is no business that they say this man is doing. There's nothing. All he says is church. He's just using the name of the church to defraud people and to fake his life. There is nothing this man is doing. There's no business. How can you say you are smart? You do wuru things. You don't get business. You don't get company. You don't get nothing. Come on. People, so he deserves what he's getting. Let him be deported. He's going to be deported. Whether he let him go to Supreme Court, if he let him go to anywhere, he will be deported. That's the truth. They don't want him in the country. So no matter what he does, they don't want him. The UK is tired of him. They've been watching him for over 11 years and they're just trying to persecute him, but they've not found a legal ground. And this is why they're using the Home Office to just get him out of the country, because they're sick and tired of his nuisance. He's doing nonsense, because as far as I'm concerned, and he's so arrogant and so proud. Look at he came out and was like, oh, You should be proud of me, proud of you for who you are. Who are you? You know? So nobody should come here and be sentimental and be saying that, oh, the UK is fighting black people. No, instead it's tarnishing our image and our names that we're real citizens are trying to keep. This man is destroying it. So he should be deported, no, without any doubt. He's not doing anything good for the country, for anybody. He's not doing nothing. This man does not have any legitimate business when they do no get. It's all about faking it, buying Lamborghini, buying Ferrari, buying houses in the UK, which are not his name. There is no asset to his name. He's using other people's names, because this is the only way for him to cover his track. So they cannot they cannot trace anything directly to him, but they know that he's doing something, but they just want an evidence. You cannot be mumu country. Oh. They know, say this man, they do illegal thing, but because they don't have an evidence, they don't have one to hold him. This is why they are just saying, okay, we are sick and tired of this guy. Let's just get him out of the country. They no give a visa. He has a British wife. He has British children. He has a ground to be actually be staying, but they don't want making day this country. So there's nothing anybody will come and talk and say that he's going to go past it, blah, blah, blah. He will be sent out of this country by fire, by force. If it means that they have to forcefully put him in a flight and deport him, they will do it if he refuses to leave. Unless he now wants to go to prison, which he may not want to. He would rather just go. So that's my own say. Nobody should come and put anything and say it's because they don't like him, or it's because people are envious of him. Nobody they envy him. If you want to live your life, live your life. But the truth of the matter is that as you are living your life, have something. Now, tomorrow, if somebody says, how do you get this money to buy this car? You can say, I run it. You know, they see all these Paki people. You know, they see all these Asian people. They run levels. But they have businesses. If you ask them, you go here, say, I have a clothing line. I have this. But why we Nigerians move finish? When you both say we not get sense, we go the verse. This is the outcome of it. Thank you, sir.